Do I really need to make a transcript for my homeschooler? The quick answer is yeah. Every single high schooler needs one, whether they're headed to college, trade school, the military, straight into the workforce, or they're not even sure yet. And honestly, that last group is why this matters so much. You don't know what your student is going to do 5 years from now, but if you have a solid transcript ready, they'll be prepared for whatever door God opens. The problem is most homeschool parents don't know where to begin. They know they need one, but they're not sure what goes on it, how to format it, or where the information is supposed to come from. And that uncertainty makes the whole thing feel way more complicated than it actually is. Hey, if we haven't met, I'm Kim Sorges-Jones, founder of Not Consume Ministries. I've been homeschooling for 23 years. I have a master's degree in education and curriculum design, and I've graduated 3 kids from our homeschool. Every one of them had a clean, professional transcript that was ready when they needed it. And today, I want to show you exactly how I built those so you can do the same thing too. So what is a transcript and why does every high schooler need one? Don't overthink this. A transcript is simply a one-page document that lists every course that your student completed during high school, as well as the grade they earned and their GPA. That's it. It's not a portfolio, it's not a narrative, it's a clean, organized summary of their high school academics. Now, you might be thinking, well, my kid isn't going to college, so why do I need one? I hear this a lot, and I want to lovingly push back on that. Here's why. First, your students' plans might change. The kid who says at 16 that they'll never go to college might feel very differently at 22. If they decide later that they want to pursue a degree or a certification, having that transcript ready is going to save them an enormous amount of stress. Trust me, trying to reconstruct 4 years of high school from memory after the fact is not going to be fun. Second, transcripts aren't just for college. Some employers ask for them. The military requires documentation of your education. Trade schools and apprenticeship programs might also want to see it. Certain scholarships, even ones that aren't tied to a university, will also require a transcript as part of the application. Third, and this is one I care about most, your transcript is proof. It's documentation that your student completed a legitimate high school education. As homeschoolers, we sometimes face questions from people who don't understand what we do. Having a professional transcript is one of the simplest ways to say, here's what my student accomplished. No long explanations needed. So yes, every homeschooled high schooler needs a transcript. And the good news is, it's not hard to make. You just need a plan. Start with your state's requirements. Now, before you write a single thing on that transcript, you need to know what your state requires for high school graduation. This is the starting point for everything. Every state has its own set of graduation requirements. Most states require about 4 years of English, 4 years of math, 3 years of history and science, and some electives. But this can vary, so you need to know exactly what your state requires. Here's how to find out. Go to the HSLDA website. That's hslda.org. Check your state and read the actual requirements for yourself. I can't stress this enough. Don't ask a friend. Don't rely on what your co-op or group told you. Do not assume the requirements are the same as what they are for the local high school either. I'm always shocked at how many homeschool families are operating on information that someone else told them, and it turns out to be wrong. Now, when I read my own state's requirements, I was surprised at how much less was actually required compared to what I had assumed would be. The truth is, most states don't specify exact courses the way we think they do. For example, your state might say 3 science credits, but it probably doesn't say that those have to be biology, chemistry, and physics. So read carefully and note what is truly required versus what is simply a suggestion. Once you have that list, write it down. This becomes your framework. Everything you plan for your students' 4 years of high school needs to meet or exceed that minimum framework. Now, if your student is considering college, here's a bonus step. Pull up the admission requirements for a few colleges that they might be interested in. Some colleges might want some extra courses like science or 2 years of foreign language. But I'll tell you this, I was also shocked at how little the requirements really were once I went to the college website and read them. Whatever's on this list, if you know about it ahead of time, you can plan on it. But even if college isn't on the radar right now, meeting your state requirements will keep every option open, and that's our goal. Once you know your state's requirements, the next thing I want you to do is set up a simple spreadsheet. This is going to be your planning tool and your grade tracker all in one place. Here's how I set up mine. It's organized vertically by grade level. So you'll have a section for 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, and 12th grade. Under each grade level, you list every course your student will take that year. Then, across the top, you have columns for the class name, the course level, where it was taken, the numerical grade, credits attempted, credits earned, and the weighted average. So for 9th grade, you might list pre-algebra, Latin 1, world history, English 1, general science, and whatever elective your student is taking. Each course gets its own row with all of that information filled in across the columns. You can plan ahead by filling in the course names for future years even before your student takes them. Just leave the grade and credit columns blank until you actually complete the course. You'll be able to look at your spreadsheet and see at a glance whether you're covering every requirement across all 4 years. If your state requires 3 years of science and you only have 2 listed, you'll catch it in advance rather than in the middle of your senior year. Now, when the year is over, you want to go back and fill in the grades, the credits, and the weighted average. Everything lives in one document. The course level column is really helpful too. That's where you know whether a course is CP for college prep, H for honors, DE for dual enrollment, or AP for advanced placement. This matters when it comes time to calculate your GPA because honors and dual enrollment courses are often weighted differently. Now, you don't need anything fancy for this. A basic Google Sheet or Excel file works perfectly. I kept mine simple and updated it whenever we made changes to our plan. And we made lots of changes. That's normal. Your students' interests will shift, new opportunities will come up, and your plan should be flexible enough to accommodate that. The cool thing is, having that framework in place means that those changes are adjustments instead of chaos. Okay, let's talk about course names. It's ideal to use standard course names that anyone can recognize at a glance. I know it's tempting to get creative with your course names. Maybe you want to call your history class Classical Civilizations and the Ancient World, or you want to label your science course Exploring God's Creation Through Earth Science. Those titles feel more descriptive, but they can actually create a problem. Whether your transcript ends up at a college admissions office, an employer's desk, or wherever, they're going to be scanning. The person reading it needs to understand it immediately. They're going to be scanning, checking off their boxes. If they see classic civilization and ancient world, they have to stop and figure out what this is and whether it counts. And if you're in a hurry, which they usually are, they might not give you the benefit of the doubt. So instead, just call it world history. Call the science course Earth Science. Use the standard name for the course. Biology, Algebra 1, Geometry, American History, U.S. Government, Economics, American Literature. These are titles that every admissions officer already knows. They can check the box instantly. Now, if your student did a general study that year and you didn't focus on something specific like literature or science, you can use something like English 1 or Science 1. That's up to you. If your student did focus on a specific discipline, I would use the specific title though. Sometimes those specific titles communicate exactly what was covered, and they can actually show more vigor on a transcript where it might matter. Here's the simple rule. Use the most specific standard title that honestly fits what your student did. If they did biology, say biology. If they did a general mix of sciences, say general science. If your state requires a named course like U.S. Government, you need to use that name. The bottom line is just don't invent something that no one is going to recognize. Now let's talk about the part that feeds your transcript all day long, your daily and weekly record keeping. Your transcript lists the final grade for each course, but the final grade has to come from somewhere. You can't just make it up at the end of the year. I mean, I guess technically you could, but I don't recommend that. You want a system that tracks your students' work throughout the year so that when it's time to calculate a final grade, you've got the data right there to back it up. So here's what we do. We use a grades spreadsheet, and I want to show you exactly how simple it is to set up. You can do this in Google Sheets, Excel, or any spreadsheet app that you like to use. Step 1, open a new spreadsheet. Across the top row, type each subject your student is taking that year. So in our case, one column says biology, the next says astronomy, the next says IEW3, and the next says Bible. One column per subject. That's your header row. Step 2, record the grade for every assignment, test, quiz, or project. I do this regularly whenever I check in with my students. Depending on my high school student and their responsibility level, this could be weekly or monthly. Step 3, at the bottom of each column, you add one formula. In Google Sheets, it looks like this: equal, average, parentheses, parentheses B2, B30, close parentheses. That tells the spreadsheet to average every grade in that column. I do this at the end of the year once all the grades are entered. If you're struggling with how to use Google Sheets ever, just Google it. Gemini AI will help you step by step figure out how to average or do whatever it is that you're trying to do within the spreadsheet. Okay, the final number at the bottom is the grade, and that's what goes on your transcript. Now that's it. No fancy software, no color coding required, no complicated setup. You end up with a spreadsheet where you can see every individual grade that your student earned, and the average is calculated for you at the bottom. When it's time to fill in the transcript, you just look at those averages and transfer them right over. By the way, this is where our high school student planner becomes your best friend. The planner is designed for your student to track their own assignments and daily work. They write down the subject, what lesson they completed, and then there's a spot for the grade right there on the page. When your student is using the planner consistently, they're recording what they did each day. That gives you a built-in record of their coursework. When it's time to update your grade spreadsheet, you're not relying on your memory. You're looking at what was actually completed day by day, week by week. The planner also has dedicated sections for tracking work experience, volunteer hours, and field study activities. So your student can log what they did, where they did it, and how many hours that they actually spent. In the high school student planner, they even tally those hours at the end of each month so that you always have a running total. This is really helpful when you're calculating elective credits, but it's also exactly the information you'll need later to fill out your work experience or community service sections of the transcript. Okay, let's actually walk through what goes on the transcript. Before we dive in, I want you to know that I have a free editable transcript template that I'm going to link in the description. Let me walk you through how to fill it in. At the top, you need your student's full legal name, address, and date of birth. You also need your parent and guardian name, since as the homeschool parent, you are the administrator. Then you need your homeschool name. If your state requires you to register your homeschool under a specific name, you need to use that name. Include your school address, contact information, phone number, and finally, the graduation date, either expected or actual. This header matters. It establishes your homeschool as a legitimate institution and you as the administrator. When you sign and date the transcript at the bottom, you are certifying that this is an official document. This is your right as a homeschool parent. Yay. Okay, let's move on to the next section. This is the main body of your transcript, and it's organized by grade level. You have 4 sections, one for each year of high school. For each year, you're going to list every course your student completed. And for each course, you need 4 pieces of information. First, the subject name. This is where those course names that we talked about earlier are going to come in. Keep it clean and recognizable. Second, the course type. On our template, you'll see a column marked type with a key at the bottom. CP stands for college prep, H is for honors, AP is for advanced placement, and DE is for dual enrollment. If your student took a standard course, you can either leave this blank or mark it CP. But if they did dual enrollment at a community college, that's where you want to mark it DE. If they took an honors level course or an AP course, mark that accordingly. This is important again because honors, AP, and dual enrollment classes are weighted differently when calculating the GPA. The next part is the grade. You want to use the standard letter grade scale. A is 90 to 100, B is 80 to 89, C is 70 to 79, and so on. This is where your grade spreadsheet pays off. You've been tracking this all year, so you already know the final grade. Next is the credit value. A full year course is typically 1 credit, or 1.0. A semester course is half, or 0.5. At the bottom of each grade level section, you total the credits for that year and calculate the GPA for that year. Then at the very bottom of the academic section, you'll have a cumulative GPA for all 4 years. If you're not sure how to calculate a GPA, it's simpler than you think. Each letter grade has a point value. An A is 4.0, B is 3.0, and C is 2.0. You add up all the grade points and divide up by the total number of credits. But don't worry, there are free online calculators that will help you do this if math isn't your thing. Our template also has a section for SAT and ACT scores. If your student has taken either test, you'll list the exam name, the date that they took it, and the scores broken down by section. If your student hasn't taken these yet, you can leave this section blank and fill it in later. Not every student will take these, and that's totally fine. But if they do, having the scores right on the transcript keeps everything in one place. On to the extracurricular activities. This is the section where you get to list all of the things that your student did outside of their coursework. Sports teams, theater productions, music, co-op activities, church involvement, clubs, anything goes here. Keep the descriptions brief though, because you're not writing an essay. Just list what you did and give enough detail that someone can actually understand what you're talking about. Next is a section that a lot of transcripts overlook, but it can be really helpful. For each job or volunteer position that your student has had, you're going to want to include the company or organization name, the start and end dates, total hours, location, contact person, description, job title, responsibilities, all that good stuff. If they did an apprenticeship or a career shadowing experience, put it in this section. Remember how I mentioned that our planner has a spot for tracking volunteer and field study hours? This is exactly where that information ends up. If your student received any honors, recognitions, or awards, you want to list those here in this next section. And then the last section is your interests and hobbies. This is just a nice personal touch. It gives whoever is reading the transcript a sense of who your student is beyond their grades. But keep it simple, a few lines is plenty. Now, I want you to hear this. Even though there are multiple sections, this is still a clean, organized document. It's not a portfolio, it's not a scrapbook, it's a professional summary. Our template is already formatted, so all you have to do is type your student's information. You don't have to design anything or figure out the layout. Just fill in the blanks. If you pair the template with a simple grade spreadsheet and the high school student planner, you've got a complete system. And that's it. That's the whole process. It is not as complicated as it feels, I promise. You just need your state's requirements, a simple spreadsheet, and a template. The rest is just filling in the blanks as you go. Our free editable transcript template is linked in the description for you to grab. You'll find our high school student planner there as well. If this was helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. And drop a comment letting me know where you are in this process. Are you just starting high school? Are you in the middle of it? I would love to hear from you. Now, if you want to know how to set up your grading system or what curriculum to use for high school, I've got videos on both of those. They should be popping up on the screens right now. Go watch one of those next, and I'll see you there.